What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another daily Manchester City transfer update. Before I do crack on with today's update, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then do subscribe to my channel. I'm going to keep you guys up to date every single day here on YouTube with all the latest City transfer news. You don't want to miss a thing. I have a feeling things are going to get very busy very quickly, very soon. So do subscribe, it is free. Social media links are in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on today's transfer update. We're aiming for 400 likes, and also don't forget as well to get your thoughts in the comments below. Finally, I want to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Kitbag, where you guys can go and check out the new Manchester City away shirt for the upcoming 2025-26 season. They've got all stock available, including lots of sizes, lots of names on the backs of your shirts. You want to go and check that out, then links and details there in the description. And a big thank you to Kitbag for sponsoring this video. They've not just got City's new away shirt, they've got loads of other City merchandise you can go and check out, along with loads of other football merchandise as well. Links and details, they are in the description. So we've got no contract news, we're going to dive straight on in with the out. We've got the very latest on Maximo Perrone, who is now no longer a Manchester City player. Now, Como have officially announced the signing of Maximo Perrone from Manchester City. He signed on a 4-year contract until June of 2029. Mike McGrath at The Telegraph has said that the deal is worth €15 million or £12.99 million. Manchester City are going to include a 30% sell-on fee and a buyback clause in this deal. There's no word on how much that buyback clause is worth as of yet, but wishing the very best of luck to Maximo once more at Como, and he's going to be there obviously on a permanent basis, and wishing him the best of luck for the future as well. Maximo did spend last season on loan at Como in Italy. They did really well in Serie A. They agreed for another loan deal as per last season's loan agreement. However, they've now managed to successfully negotiate that into making it a permanent transfer, so wishing Maximo Perrone the very best of luck. Now, moving on, we've got the latest on Ederson and some Turkish reports that were unofficial at the time. There was some murmurs and rumours going around saying Galatasaray are interested in a few players from Manchester City, and I do believe right now that this is just more than hearsay or rumours. There's some legs in this, what's being reported and what is coming out of Turkey, which I find really interesting. When I'm dealing with sources that I'm not particularly overly familiar with or I've not really dealt with before, I do always exercise a little bit of caution. I do always take things with a bit of pinch of salt, and I don't want to go out and say that what's being reported is 100% fact. What I do find what is being reported, though, is interesting and potentially could well be true, and what they're reporting does also echo a lot of what we've heard that Manchester City are looking to try and achieve in this summer transfer window, in particular from their player sale, because Man City, everybody already knows we've got a couple of players who are non-homegrown who cannot be registered for the upcoming Champions League. So Manchester City, in an ideal world, need to let go of at least 2 players to make sure that we meet the threshold when it comes to our registrations in the Champions League. So some of our players are being linked with the exit door, and it seems that Galatasaray have taken a keen interest in Ederson from Manchester City. It's not the first time that we've heard that Galatasaray are interested. We've also heard some reports about Saudi Arabian clubs being interested as well. It's believed also that Galatasaray are having a good look at İlkay Gundogan, but nothing has materialised in terms of that transfer as of yet. And I do believe that Galatasaray have asked the question to Manchester City about Manuel Akanji. I don't have too much about the Akanji transfer other than Galatasaray are potentially interested in signing him. They want to explore that transfer first to see if they can afford the transfer fee, if the player is keen on the move, and if the player would be willing to take a wage cut to join Galatasaray. So we'll see, but it defo means that Galatasaray are interested in some City players. As I said, I do take things with a pinch of salt. It wouldn't surprise me if Galatasaray end up signing none of Manchester City's players this summer, but it's very much looking like they are pushing hard to try and bring in at least one player from City, maybe two, maybe even three, and helping Manchester City to go through their transition and sort out Man City's potential goalkeeping situation that they've had. So the sources in Saudi Arabia, they're saying that Manchester City are asking for €10 million for Ederson this summer, which is £8.65 million. I believe City were asking for somewhere between, was it 20 to 25 million euros last summer when it came to Ederson from many of the Saudi Arabian teams who regarded that as too expensive. So City looking for around 10 million euros, which for me, I think it's a bit cheap. £8.65 million for a high-quality goalkeeper, a goalkeeper as good as what Ederson is, in particular with his distribution, I think is a bargain. Anyway, Galatasaray are not happy with this bargain, and they want to negotiate from €10 million to €6 million, which is £5.19 million. And I know Ederson turns 32 in August. I know that he's got less than 1 year left on his City contract, but just over £5 million for Ederson sounds extremely cheap as far as I'm concerned. Now, Galahabernet, which is a source based in Turkey, have said that Galatasaray are now closing in on an agreement with both Manchester City and Ederson to sort this transfer out. That's the latest news we've had in the last couple of hours or so. We're waiting for further developments on this. Ederson not in contract renewal talks with City. His contract's up in less than a year. Manchester City do want to have a look at this goalkeeping situation because both Ederson and Stefan Ortega Moreno are number one, number two goalkeepers. They're both out of contract next summer. We don't want to be bringing in two brand new goalkeepers in one window, and it would make a lot of sense for City to sort this out. I have said that I think that Ederson would be an easier sale than Ortega. Ortega will only leave if there's genuine solid interest from a club in making him their number one goalkeeper. It's a bit quiet on that, whereas it's not so quiet on Ederson. There's lots of interest, and for that price, I can see a lot of clubs being interested. And I think Galatasaray, if they do want to bring Ederson in, are going to have to act really quickly to make this transfer happen. And if it does happen, Manchester City will need a new number one goalkeeper. I'm not expecting City to make Stefan Ortega their new number one goalkeeper and City bring in a backup keeper. I'm expecting City to go all out in this summer transfer window to replace Ederson. So I am expecting City to more than likely go for their preferred number one choice that was reporting on earlier this week, which would be Diogo Costa from FC Porto. I wouldn't rule out City having a good look at some other keepers. Want to go down the homegrown route? I think James Trafford from Burnley, not quite sorted his transfer to Newcastle yet. I think that would be a really good solid choice. I personally wouldn't have a problem with James Trafford and a high quality upcoming homegrown goalkeeper being brought in. I can see him being England's number one in the next year or two, if I'm being honest with you guys. So I think that would be a really good avenue for City to explore. Lucas Chevalier as well could potentially be another option, but I can't see past City's interest. It was there last summer, it's there this summer as well in Diogo Costa. City have told Costa to be patient. He hasn't pushed for a transfer to go anywhere else despite lots of interest in him. He wants to move to Manchester City, and I think if City do sort out this sale of Ederson to anybody, in particular it's looking like it may well be Galatasaray, if that does happen, I'm expecting City to make their move for Diogo Costa. So this summer transfer window could get very serious once more very quickly. I'll keep you guys up to date with this, of course, with my daily City transfer updates. Only other story we've got in the house is an update on Jack Grealish, and Ben Jacobs has said that West Ham want to sign Jack Grealish on loan from Manchester City, but West Ham are concerned about the financial side of this transfer, including that of a loan, about the loan fee, the wage and everything. It's causing West Ham a lot of concern, but they do want to sign Jack Grealish, and I can see Jack Grealish, as long as he keeps himself fit and puts in high quality performances for West Ham, I can see him being a regular there. So it could be a good match, I feel, that for Jack Grealish, but it's going to be very difficult for them to get the transfer sorted in terms of his wages and the loan agreements and loan fees. Same with Everton, they're really interested. They want to make a move as well, but there's some reservations about what this loan transfer would look like, in particular how much are City willing to subsidise of Jack Grealish's whopping £300,000 a week in wages. Now the Telegraph, interestingly, have said that Jack Grealish is going to be returning back to training with Manchester City very soon. I don't know if he's already returned to training with Manchester City or if it's going to be from next week, from Monday. We'll have to wait and see. But the first team for Manchester City aren't going to arrive for pre-season training for another week, so Jack Grealish is going to be training on his own, and I feel like rather than training him on his own around the other first team coaches right now, if it's up to me now as in charge at Manchester City, I think the academy's already returned back to training, so I'd let Jack Grealish go and train with the academy. Not so much as a punishment for Jack Grealish, but more, I feel like that would be a really good influence on the high-quality young players to see a seasoned pro like Jack Grealish around them for a week. Jack Grealish can just start to pass on some of his trade, give the youngsters some tips and tricks about what it looks like to take that step up from the academy level to be a player that's ready to be playing for the first team at Manchester City, and what an England international looks like as well. And I feel like that would be a really good learning experience for the academy rather than just having Jack Grealish training on his own around the coaches waiting for everybody else to come back. But I'm not in charge, so here we are. Anyway, moving on to the ins, got a couple of quick stories. The first, youngster Freddie Lawrie from Aston Villa. He's now passed his Manchester City medical yesterday, according to Fabrizio Romano. He is going to be signing for the Manchester City Academy from Aston Villa's Academy. He's the England under-17 captain, a centre-back, English, 16 years old. He already stands at a whopping 6'3" tall at such an early age, so there's potentially even more growth there for him as well. And he could end up turning into an absolute unit at the back. Very promising player. England under-17 captain as well. Definitely a player to watch for the future. City have rolled out the red carpet for Freddie Lawrie, I think, to try and convince him to come to the club. Seems to have worked, because he is going to be signing for the City Academy from Aston Villa's Academy. Medical complete, and we're waiting now for the transfer to be announced. A lot of the time with the Academy play, it doesn't get announced. We'll see if this does get announced. It might. We'll see. Who knows? Anyway, moving on to the final transfer of this transfer update. Takes us on to an update on Sverre Nypan, who we all had some concerns about this transfer, that everything was done and sorted, and we've not heard anything for over a month, and we're waiting for official word from City that this transfer has been done. We were even speculating about maybe Manchester City see him as an academy player and don't want to formally announce it because he's going to be seen as an academy player rather than a first team player, which I don't think he'd have signed for City if that was the case. And even Sverre Nypan had come out and said he didn't know what was going on. He thought he was a Manchester City player, but it's not been announced. So right now he wasn't a Manchester City player. And then there were some reports coming out last week from Borussia Dortmund that they were interested in gazumping Manchester City and paying an extra couple of £1 million on what City were willing to pay and make that transfer happen. And was all a bit concerned that the deal could collapse. And I said this was 99% done, but it's still got that 1%. It's not 100% done, and until it's 100% done, he's not a Manchester City player. And what does happen with that 1%? And we were speaking about when Fabrizio Romano was given a transfer, the here we go and the clearance from the agent and from the players camp. What do you do when the club are purposefully holding back an announcement and announcing a signing? And I still don't know why Manchester City had waited so long to get this sorted. It caught me out by surprise. I had my video ready to roll out for you guys as soon as it was announced. I just wasn't expecting the transfer to be announced yesterday, so it wasn't until I ended up at the end of my day checking my phone and seeing that City have announced Sverre Nypan. So apologies that I was so late in uploading that. I just wasn't expecting City to announce the transfer. Normally I have everything set up that as soon as the transfer is going to be announced, I'm ready to roll it out, and just it wasn't the case with this transfer. Anyway, he signs for Manchester City. That's all that matters. 5-year contract. The deal's not collapsed. It's very much gone through, and Sverre Nypan is a Manchester City player. The Manchester Evening News says that he signs for a deal worth £12.5 million, which, if you do the maths, Manchester City have basically replaced Maximo Perrone in their team with Sverre Nypan, and Nypan's now going to be the player that heads out on loan. We're still waiting for an announcement on where that's going to be, but he signs for Manchester City on a 5-year contract until June of 2030 from Rosenborg over in Norway. All official and done. Warm welcome to Sverre Nypan. Sverre is an 18-year-old Norwegian central midfielder. He is expected to join up with the Manchester City first team squad for training at the end of July, and he is expected to be loaned out before the end of the summer transfer window on September 1st. Another excellent, high-quality young player signing for Manchester City, and City's 5th summer signing on top of Tajani Reinders, Ryan Cherky, Ryan Aid-Nouri, and also Bettinelli brought in from Chelsea to replace Scott Carson. So that has been today's Manchester City Daily Transfer Update. If you did enjoy this video, please do leave a thumbs up. 400 likes is the aim. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe as well if you're new around here. It is free to subscribe. I'm going to keep you guys up to date every single day with all the latest City transfer news, so do subscribe subscribe if you haven't already. Social media links are in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And finally, do go and check out Kitbag, where you can go and check out the brand new Manchester City away shirt, smart shirt as well, produced by Puma. They do produce some bangers, they do produce some really weird, strange and unusual kits as well. I personally really like this away kit. I think it's a bit of a banger. So yeah, if you do want to go and check it out, links and details there in the description. And a big thank you to Kitbag for sponsoring today's video. And I'll see you all again religiously tomorrow for the next daily City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.